Hello everybody, this is lesson 2 from the English vocabulary in use pre-intermediate and intermediate level.
A. What do you do?
This is what some students do.
I write down new English words and phrases in my notebook, and next to each one I write a Spanish translation. I usually write down if a word is a noun, verb, adjective, and so on.
I sometimes write a word in phonemics because English pronunciation is very difficult for me. But my notebook is a mess. I like to draw pictures.
I sometimes make a note of new words in my notebook, but I often forget. I usually write a translation, and sometimes I write example sentences as well.
I've got a notebook. I don't use it much, but when I do, I try and list words by topic. So I put all the animals together and all the clothes words together, and so on. I find it's easier to remember the words this way.
I note down new words and phrases. Sometimes I translate them into Polish, and sometimes I write an explanation in English if it is not difficult. For example, kitten, a very young cat.
Okay, as you can see, these are some of the ways that students learn English language. So why don't you now pause the video and tell how do you learn new words, okay? So now let's move on to the B part.
B. Tips for your notebook.
A tip is a piece of advice to help you. Here are some tips for your notebook. Put words from one topic in the same place. For example, food in one place, clothes in another, etc. Don't mix them up. You can also have grammar topics. For example, uncountable nouns, or a page for words that all have a connection. For example, words and phrases that were all in a story you read in English. Some words and phrases will go in more than one topic. If you can't find a topic for a new word or phrase, for example, useful or in particular, put them in a different place in your notebook. For example, a page for each day or each week, or perhaps one page for every English lesson you have. Write the date clearly at the top. For example, Monday the 14th of May. When you write down new vocabulary, write a translation if it is necessary, but also write the meaning in English if it is possible, or draw pictures. If possible, add synonyms, opposites, other parts of speech, etc. Awful. Adjective means terrible. Synonym, dreadful. Enjoy. Verb means like something and get pleasure from it. Noun, enjoyment. Adjective, enjoyable. Example sentences help you with the grammar of a word, or with word partners, collocations. I enjoy living in a big city, not I enjoy to live in a big city. I spent 2 weeks in Rome, not I passed 2 weeks in Rome. You spend time in a place. Remember, words often have more than one meaning that you need to know. For example, a tip is also money that you give. For example, to a waiter for serving you in a restaurant.
Okay, as you can see, you have probably received now a lot of useful tips for learning and keeping vocabulary notebook. So take a look at the exercise. I'm just going to explain just each one how to do it. So organize the words into the topics below. So we have food, garden, numbers, right? And one word can go into 2 different topics. Use a dictionary to help you. So pay attention to words and just try to understand. For example, 1,000 goes into the category of numbers, right? So if you don't know, you can always check the definition and then write down, like, is it about food or something like that. And here explain these words, right, in English, or draw a picture if you think explanation is too difficult or drawing is not possible, like write a translation instead. So my recommendation, if you can, of course, try to write a definition with your words, with your own words. If you cannot, then you can, write like antonym or synonym. What if you cannot do that as well? Then just write translation or check out here definition. Raw, for example, dig is, or let's say butcher here is someone, who sells a meat in a shop. So you see, not that difficult. Here you just need to write some information, and you can all find it from the opposite page. For example, if you remember, we were given the synonym of awful, dreadful in the opposite page. And here are some questions for you to answer. So why not to answer, right? Let's practice vocabulary and get better. See you next time.